will be well, I promise you that." He led Nancy into his father's study and pulled up a chair for her. The oak-panelled room was lit only by the glow of the fire, but the shadows seemed to hover menacingly over Nancy's shoulder. The smell of cigar smoke lingered in the air with a hint of fine cognac and wet gun-dog. Lord Dorrington's faithful black Labrador lay stretched out in front of the fire. Nancy raised her hand to brush a stray curl back from her forehead, and the diamonds in her ring blazed in the firelight. "You don't have to wave that piece of jewellery in my face, young lady." Lord Dorrington gave her a searching look. "So this is what you wanted to tell me, Frederick. I had a feeling that you were planning something of the sort." Freddie slipped his arm around Nancy's shoulder. "Mamma is on our side. I am the head of the family. You might have convinced your mother that this is a good match, but I am not so easily persuaded. But I love Nancy, Papa. She's all I ever wanted." "Sentimental rubbish!" Lord Dorrington moved to the desk and selected a cigar from a humidor. He rolled it in his fingers, holding it to his ear with an appreciative smile. "The best Havana. There's nothing like it." He lit the cigar with a spill from the fire. "I love Freddie," Nancy said firmly. "I will make him a good wife, but I want both you and Lady Dorrington to feel happy with the situation." Lord Dorrington puffed cigar smoke into the air. "Do you now? Well, I am not happy with the situation, as you put it. Freddie has a duty to marry well and produce heirs to the title and the estate. Lady Letitia Berkeley has an impeccable pedigree, to say nothing of a huge fortune. She has been our choice of bride for some time, and continues to be so." "I will marry the person I love, Papa," Freddie said heatedly. "Nancy's every bit as good as Letitia." Lord Dorrington pulled the buttoned leather chair from behind his desk and sat down. "I've no doubt that she is a perfectly amiable young woman, but that is not enough. Mamma has undoubtedly told you that Nancy is the heiress to the Greystone estate, and she comes from a good family. You can have no objection on those grounds." "Have you asked her guardian's permission, Frederick?" Freddie shot a sideway glance in Nancy's direction. "Her papa died years ago, sir. I know the circumstances of Sir Oliver's death. It is not something to boast about. His reputation was already damaged by his profligate lifestyle, and his death was ignominious. That has nothing to do with Nancy, sir. She is blameless, and I love her." "I suppose Bertie, Sir Bertram Carey, is my guardian," Nancy said slowly. "I have lived in Rockwood Castle since I was a child. He thinks a lot of Freddie. I'm sure he won't object." "Taken in as a servant?" Lord Dorrington chewed on the end of his cigar. "I know the circumstances, Miss Sunday, or I suppose I should call you Miss Greystone." "Either, if it pleases you, sir. I am not ashamed of my past. All I can tell you is that I love Freddie with all my heart. If you and Lady Dorrington agree to our union, I will do my best to make Freddie happy." Lord Dorrington frowned. "Words, miss. Just words. You have no idea how to run a household or manage servants. You've never lived at Greystone Park, so how do you think you could eventually be mistress of Dorrington Place?" "Papa, that isn't fair," Freddie protested. "You are not going to die for a very long time. Nancy and I will have made a life for ourselves long before that happens." Lord Dorrington puffed on his cigar for what seemed an interminable amount of time to Nancy. She was beginning to think that whatever either of them said would make very little difference. Lord Dorrington had already made up his mind. "Please, for father." Freddie reached out to grasp Nancy's hand. "I'll do whatever you wish, if you will just give us your blessing." Lord Dorrington turned his head slowly to give his son a straight look. "Have you considered the fact that Miss Sunday is a minor? She cannot marry unless her guardian approves. You will have to gain Sir Bertram's consent, as well as my own." "Then we'll travel to Rockwood Castle tomorrow, Papa. I'm sure I can convince Sir Bertram that Nancy will be loved and treated with the greatest respect in our family." "Bertie won't stand in our way," Nancy said tentatively. "But I might." Lord Dorrington turned to give her a stern look. "What would you be prepared to do in order to gain my approval of this match?" Nancy held her head high. "Anything you ask, my lord." "This is..."